Hello, so I just played this game and I forgot to record it, which is sad. So rather than hearing my live reactions and my live seething and malding and coping and all that wonderful stuff, I figured I would just try to cast my own game and see how this works out. So, but it's not already obvious I'm playing as Feanor right now. This is an unranked game, and the random map bot command thing had us roll for Paddy field. He is playing EC, I'm playing USSR. I know the way he plays EC is he plays very much like 2016 Wargame with a lot of super heavies and reservists. So I know that's going to be something I have to keep in mind. Now, I also know that because he's going to be going so tank heavy because he's Feanor, he's probably going to mess up his tank micro at some point, and I can use planes to hopefully start tilting him and to make the game easier. Recently, Feanor's been playing with a lot of Panthers actually, and a lot more helos than he normally uses. Not so much planes, but more helos. So that's something I have to keep in mind throughout the game as well. Now, my opener, I'm doing a pretty normal Triangle Force opener here. I have some double OBR 1989s, a couple bit of some fodder, and double stack of VDV to go into here. And I'm not really trying to be too aggressive in the opener. I'm just trying to out-trade him while I can get a nice build-up going. For the flank over here, I have a Factoria and MTV and some Recon to go into Factory Town because I really want to hold this area. Because if I do end up losing this because of a mass reservist push with Legion 90 and AMX 10s, I want to have this area to get back in. For Square Forest, I have an ATGM and some Recon right here, some Spet Screw. And my K-52 is going to go up the middle to see if I can spot his opener. And then for Bravo, Dick Forest, I have one Spet Screw, not Spet Screw, sorry, VDV and a Scratch Jet. And I'm going to invest in Bravos as I see fit. I don't really see that much in point in investing there right off the bat because I can rotate. I also just changed my opener real quick. You didn't see it, but I realized I didn't bring AA, so I took a Tor. My deck is a double Tor deck because it's kind of the lazy USSR AA setup. But yeah, that's the opener plan. I want to hold here, out trade him, and then start getting my build up going, and hold Square Forest, and then eventually I'm going to just do the normal Square Forest opener. Sorry, not Square Forest opener, the normal Triangle Forest game plan. Win the tank fight here, have these two areas, take this town right here, and then push all the way up Bravo into Alpha. That's the idea behind this. And in a second, the game is going to start. So, yeah. I also know that Feanor's not going to fob snipe, and I can't protect it anyway, but if I want to protect it, I could put my fob a little bit farther behind over here, near the water, because the MLRS is going to bounce off the water and deal no damage, or rather, the water is going to absorb it. Anyway, we're off to the races, and I'm really looking forward to see what Feanor is doing here. Last time I played him, he was playing Baltic Mech, and he did a Boris push down Anode like that, which really caught me off guard, and I lost that game. So I want to make sure that he's not doing that. I think that's very, very important that I know that he's not doing it. Now, here right now, as you can see, I see some AMX 10s, some Babs. I see a Crotal right here. That's good. And I see reservists, tanks, and some AMX 13s, and some AA right here. So I'm happy with that. And that tells me that I don't have to worry about Dick Forest and Anna all that much for now, at least. Now I do see he has a Crotal here, so I should keep this MI8 MTV landed. I also know that there's a Tiger here picking off my ATGM, which is unfortunate. So I need to rotate my K-52 back over here, make sure the Tiger can't snipe all this, because he can't see it right now. Now this MTV is landed, it can't really get up because of the Crotal. And he notices that, so he's trying to mortar it to panic the MTV to get up. Now, the Factoria is kind of derping out, so that sucks. It's a big suck, but okay. I got to Dick Forest safely, and now, sorry, it's time to take this fight. I noticed that he's pulling off this road a lot earlier than he should, which is going to be important for me, because it tells me that I can start really using some line of sight nonsense on him. And I'm pulling my Tor back a little bit to make sure that it has time to retreat if I lose things. I also do see he has Legion 90 here early, but I am taking this tank fight, and it's not going quite as well as I want to, so I did take some damage. But I do have the Triangle Forest, and in a second I have my Uragon. Now the point of the Uragon here is to stun his push, and maybe get some free shots off the tank. So right now I'm just trying to hold until my Uragon will be firing in 10 seconds. More like 5 seconds from now. Not trying to do anything too fancy, just getting myself into a good position. And maybe pick some of these AIM X13s. Anyway, here we go. And we're going to half salvo this. Or close enough. And right when we're landing is when we peek out. Because now we get start getting those free kills. It is a little bit dangerous keeping my Tor behind here because I don't know where the Tiger is, but presumably it's somewhere in this area right now because my K-52 is here and I should be able to spot it. But he can outspot me because he has better stealth. I also see his Crowtails on 1 HP. I can't quite chase it down because of the smoke right here, but I figure I can hit this area again. And maybe if I chase her out at a little side angle I might be able to get it, but it's a little risky considering I did see he has a tank right here. And I don't want to be all that aggressive. Because as you can see, my infantry is very panicked and very injured. Though this rolling I might be able to pick. But we're going to go for the VAB instead, it seems. I mean, a free pick is a free pick. It could have gone a lot worse. But really I'm just trying to play this waiting game and just building. Now, I think that was a Tiger right there. That's good to know. And yep, here comes the Panther spam, or not the Panther spam, but the beginning of the Panthers that Feanor likes to use a lot right now. I'm not sure why this graduate tried to spawn here, but whatever. And I know there's a VAB here, so I know that his town's gonna be this area's gonna be occupied. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more aggressive here. Maybe I can get a pick. But I do need to be very aware of that Leclerc. I'm also moving my Tor out of the way because I know that in this position I can get pushed out pretty easily, especially with the Legion 90 right there. So I'm just going to pull these tanks back. It is a bit far from my own units, this Tor, but it's going to be an area that he's not going to expect right away. And hopefully I won't lose it in case I do get pushed out. Now the supply truck is coming here and it's already microed, so that's good. And the Gruber came here just to make sure that I really don't lose Triangle Force fully. So I can get my tanks repaired. And right now we're just kind of waiting. I'm really just trying to get past the opener, survive the opener, and build up. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this CV buy right here for him. Because his push, we kind of sort of drew in this push really. I think he probably traded a little bit better, but okay. Now here I see these Panthers coming here, which tells me that the Tiger is going to be coming with it as well. The idea, of course, is that he's going to bait the K-52 missiles out into the Panthers and have the Tiger pick the K-52. So as a result, I'm moving my Tor over to the K-52 over here. Now I just missed it, but the Legion 90 here on Panic actually killed my BTR 90, which is really unfortunate. But it is what it is. And I see this Leclerc here, and now I know that his Leclerc being in this area with so much fire, this is a very sloppy move for him. Because I have the recon here, I see the Leclerc is being spotted, and the smoke's in the wrong spot. So, when my T-80Bs come around, I can maybe get some nice angles on the Leclerc. Now, I'm also able to pick the Tiger, but I lose the K-52, just due to my own sloppiness, so that could have been a really good pickup for me had I not been so sloppy here. But it is what it is. Now this Leclerc is just sitting here, which means he's just being very lazy with the micro, so I can now buy my own plane, and I can really hit him hard here. And I'm just going to shotgun the plane, I get my double hits off, and that's one super heavy down. I can't remember at this point if Feanor likes to use 3 or 4 super heavies in his deck. either going double 2A5 double Leclerc or double Leclerc 1 2A5. Either way, I'm very happy about this because that tells me that this area is open and I have a lot left to worry about. So if I hit this with an MLRS salvo in a second and push in, I can do a lot of damage, especially with these TADBs coming up here. Originally, I had them to go for this triangle forest area to get the closer in, but I'm going to decide to rotate them to square forests in order to get more angles for fire support. As you can see here, I'm doing, and once again, I see the Panthers moving, so my Tor moves as well to a safer spot. All of these units here are unprotected, which is great. I just don't quite have the infantry or infrastructure, however you want to phrase it, to push right now. But I'm getting ready, as you can see. I'm almost ready to fully aim, to actually fully push him out. But again, all I'm doing right now is just trying to make sure I survive this opener so I can get my proper build up in. So, out trading him, trading Motostoki for Legion 90, that's always a good thing. I see he's trying to do this push here, that'll surprise me a bit. But fortunately, my TADBs are coming. Now, I'm going to lose the Spet Screw, which does suck. But the Uragan is just about ready. And my MTV is here just in time. Thankfully, the BTR-90 helps defend. And I can hit here just in time to stop this push. So that's good. I mean, he has a lot of units here, so I know I can't bring my TADBs here, so I have to bring them around the side like that. Now I see here's the second Leclerc, once again out in the open. And the TADBs are doing a little bit of zoning. And he has this 2A4 here as well. So he's just doing basically very old wargame of reservists and super heavies. I get this pick as well with 27k, so that's really, really strong for me. Not quite in the position to use 89s as much as I want to. In hindsight, what I should have done is I should have come around from this angle right here, because I'd have more open angles like that. But I don't know what's in this area right now. So I'm a little bit hesitant to do that. I'm able to defeat his push here, though, after I lose a decent amount of infantry with my TADBs that came in just in time. It would have been nice to keep my infantry alive, though, granted. But he's down both his Leclercs. His AA is panicked. I outtraded his infantry, I think. And I have my ASF up. The ASF was probably not the greatest buy of all time, but I was very worried that he's going to retaliate. Like, perhaps a CV buying some more infantry would have been better here. In any event, all these might as well be dead, and I can just get some free pickups, so that's a good thing. And I see the 2A4 here again. So I shotgun. And I only get one hit off, which is unfortunate. I'm not quite sure why the second one didn't go for it. The second missile didn't hit, but okay. I'm still very hesitant to push this right now, though, because I don't know what ATGMC has in here. And I don't quite have the K52 and just in general the recon, because I lost this recon, to actually see where his 2A4 really is. So as much as I want to chase this down, it's too risky of a move. Now this one I'm forced by the CV because he's ticked on me now for 5 minutes because he has 150 points, and I can't ignore it any longer. So I buy some Motostoki here as well to make sure this area is clear, so maybe I can use this angle later in the future. And yeah, I don't know if he runs Milan F3s or F2s in here, in the Panther. I think that's what's in his deck. Unfortunately, he does get a hit off somehow, and it kills me, so there's a lot, at least half that damage. Half my HP was just gone right there. But yeah, in hindsight, this PU buy was not the greatest buy of all time. If I wanted to buy an ASF, probably PD would be better. I really do hate playing as a KWI, so it is such an overtuned plane. Regardless, I'm actually in quite a decent position right now, especially after this Legion 90 pickup. Since I won Triangle Force very hard, I killed 2 super heavies, I only lost 1 tank. I lost a decent amount of infantry, granted, and my K52, but the K52 more or less traded with the Tiger nice enough. So I'm in a pretty okay position. Now, I want to repair my tanks and get this a push ready for here. So I want to, once they're fully repaired, see if I can bait some shots off with my 5-pointer. Push here, move the GRU up, and then get my tanks on the right side of the triangle right here. So this is a little bit farther from his air spawn to land some fire support to deal with his ATGMs. Now somehow, I guess he has recon in here, but he saw my Tor, which, you know, it sucks. So I have to move it now. But yeah, you can see that I'm preparing what I just talked about. The sped screw will get to move up to get closer to get line of sight. I now know where the ATGM is, so I can kind of move back into the forest. And I can pretty soon, in a second, take the OBR 1989s out and bait the ATGM with the 5-pointer, spot with the GRU, and get that nice little pickup. And hopefully take Gregtown. Now, this CV buy here, I think, is a mistake. I think if he didn't buy this CV, he would have done a lot better later on in the game. Because the CV was allowing me to build up so much more than I frankly should have been able to. So right now I'm going to have too much fire support. My TADB, which is moving up here as well. The 1989 is moving into position. And the 5-pointer coming out. So the second he fires his ATGM, he'll instantly die. I also see this AMAX 10 over here moving to the side, so I have to be a little bit careful in this area right here. But there's a 2A4. Here comes my 5-pointer. I spot everything. And the ATGM is gone. So that's good. And to prepare my push, because I thought there'd be more in there, I had the double stack of BTRTs coming in. But that's clearly no longer needed if I was able to get this far without being shot by Legion 90 or something like that. I do see, though, that he is preparing a push right here. Now, I think it's more important for me to continue the build-up rather than buy a CV right away. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what actually I want to do about this. My plan was to get the BTRTs in here, get some Gornos in here, because my deck has Gornos in it. And zone him out, and then start focusing on this Boris Anna area where I should be able to wipe him because I'm playing USSR. In any event, here comes my K52, a new one, because I need the recon. My MTV is in reserve, and my P is coming out because the push is coming, and I need some way to defend. Here come the Gornos, and I'm getting ready to see if I can push and do something. So I want to hit him with the Urgon to stun him for any engagement we're taking, which is either going to put him at a disadvantage, or it's going to delay his push. Now this surprised me that he actually was putting reservists in here. I guess he just wanted to occupy the town. In any event, with my PU out, the BTRT is coming, and the Gorno's following up in a second because they are wheeled. I feel pretty confident about occupying this town right now. And I have the Rozvedka here, too, to maybe see what's going on. So I'm confident in my recon game, my tank game, and everything. Especially with the K52 just coming here now and starting to spot everything. And the Rozvedka moving up. I see he has a 2A5 here as well, and that 2A4, so I know he's going really super heavy. Really heavy in the super heavies. So that tells me enough. I figure I can tank the shot with the BTRT, bait it out for the 1989, maybe get a pickup. I'm surprised he hit here with like a 0% chance, more or less, but okay, that's fine. And I know that Feanor hates having his AA picked, so I go for his AA rather than his tank. It also helps keep my K52 alive. Now, he did get a Legion 90 in here, which I didn't see coming, but hey, I don't mind. So I just walked the Sappery in here, and they did exactly their job. I do see that my TADB was spotted for a little bit. I'm not quite sure if that was from firing or from something else, but okay. And the PU is just circling, keeping my unit safe. Now I'm really trying to go for the picks here. And here comes the 27M picking the AA, and then the 2A4. With the K52 getting that nice little pickup. I know that Feanor really hates losing his AA, so I'm really doing a good job of targeting that. And at this point in the game, in chat, he was saying things like, what a joke, and all that good types of stuff. So I know my plan of tilting him is working. I now want to move my recon over to here to make sure that L Force is cleared out. I see he has recon. That's important for me to know. I think in-game No, I did realize this quite in-game. I thought I killed it, but it turns out I didn't. Because I just lost line of sight. But he has a 2A5 and the other 2A4 here as well. So, I mean, he's playing very old-school Wargame. And with the Gornas in here now, I can maybe do some zoning and get these reservists picked up. I see his 2A5 is here, so I have to be a little bit careful. In hindsight, probably going back was the wrong call. Probably going forward would be the better idea, because I'm going to be much more cost-efficient forward than he will be. But it's not the end of the world. Losing his corner, though, that was very sad. And he has, yeah, another 2A4 here. So my Tor is going to rotate once again, hopefully deal with these Panthers. And the thing that I kind of fed a little bit going for this, I really wish I played this better. I think I could have gotten at least if not the 2A5 pickup, a lot of damage done on it. But it is what it is. Now here I see that the T-80B is being spotted, so his recon is in a functional position, so that's something I have to keep in mind. And my tanks can't really take engagements right now because of fuel, so I have to come back and refuel that. I also see that at this point I can't let him stay here for much longer. Now, my 27M is called out, and originally I wanted to go for this 2A4 here, which he notices. And I think I could have gotten it, but the risk of losing 27M at this point for that pick is very high, because I know he has the Roland here. So I just want to have him circle out for a little bit to maybe keep him worried. And for whatever reason, the Uragon just kind of went over here for a little stroll. So, okay. I also know I should probably invest in base defense because, while this is a friendly, unranked game, it's still always a good idea to have some base defense. Now, he is really playing with the tanks right here, so at this point, what I should have done is I should have really kept on continuing to reinforce this quickly, hit this with an Uragon, and try to get him out. I do get this pick on the 2A4 here, though, which is nice, but I made the mistake of getting hit by AA, which is sad. I did get a 2A4, two 2A4s, a Roland, though, so at least I got a nice return. In hindsight, I should have hit this with the Uragon first and then gone for it, because his A would be panicked. So I misplayed that, definitely. That was a bad loss. Not the end of the world, because it did make it his price, but yeah, it could have been better. I do know that he has recon here, though, because his commando power were spotting my Sapri, so that is something to keep in mind. And here comes the Uragon, because I see he's trying to push. And, you know, pushing is bad, at least for him. Now that D-Track tells me that I saw very briefly, that's important, because it knows that I can get a lot of pickups here for free. My TDB should be moving out here as well, but okay. Now I bought a replacement Gorno to replace the double stack here. And you can see he's going to be doing some fancy radar micro to bait my KF-2 missiles, which I didn't notice in time. But I think what I should have done instead is I should have gone to Factoria and moved it in, and the Gornos. And ideally not sacrifice so much stuff. Now, I get the Gepard pickup, and I do lose a 27k, which is bad. I definitely could have kept that alive longer, but I was more focused on trying to tilt Feanor rather than doing an objectively good play. I did get that hit off on the KWS, which was nice, though. Anyway, I'm in here. I'm down 2 strike planes. All I have left is a 25T. But yeah. At this point, what I really should have done, instead of the CV buy here, I don't think that was a good call on my end. I think had I instead spent those points into Anna, I could have ended up taking the rest of the map and then bought CVs at the end. And just played it a bit more patient. But being halfway through the game and down basically 300 points, I was a little bit panicky here. So that was maybe a mistake. It's honestly hard to tell. Now, I do see my Taurus getting spotted, which tells me his commando power are in active positions, and that's why I bought my Groovor here. The idea of the Groovor is I'm going to walk through this line and clear him out. But I get the unfortunate reality of having my timing being that he's pushing here at the same time. which, you know, sucks. And makes the CV by a little bit meh, because it would have been nice to have some more ground troops right now. Because I still feel very light, despite the fact that I've traded quite nicely against him. I think, at least. I do get a double hit off, though, on his tank, which is a big deal. And I can really credit that to the Uragan strike. I think I used my Uragan pretty well this game. Now, on the side shot right here, I actually got his 285. I don't think I saw it in game. I did see the explosion, but I wasn't sure what I killed. In any event, this is a great thing, and that happened because of the way he retreated. If you notice, he's facing side because of this little slope right here. And that's why you shouldn't try to retreat up the road. You should try to retreat back towards the road first, and then go up once the road is smoked out. But at this point, I'm able to play very aggressively after that pick. Move my recon up. And just work on getting him out. And my CV is going to come in a second. And because of his missed micro, I think, that's going to be a +1. Which will be the start of my ticking. So that's really good. So, I think I haven't talked about this yet, but what I'm doing is I'm employing a strategy I like to use against the Reservist Super Heavy Spam, because I had a lot of problems with this for a long time. With Reservist Super Heavy, a couple things are going to happen. The idea is that your opponent's going to be trading Reservists for your tanks, and basically they're going to put you in a deficit because of that. That's a basic idea behind it. I had a lot of problems with this first because I tried to be too aggressive with the fight. I know I just lost a KP2 here due to miss micro and not paying attention, which sucks, but okay. Anyway, the strategy I like to use is either make sure to focus on removing the reservists and keeping my tanks alive. That way he runs out of infrastructure and eventually he will run out of reservists, or to really focus in on those tanks. Sometimes it's a bit hard to focus in on the tanks because he does a good job of protecting them. So the idea is that if he has no more reservists, he can't push, and he's just going to be feeding points at that point. Anyway, back to the game. What I've done here is I've now moved my recon into a good spot. I have recon positioned here, VDV positioned here, a TADB here, and this town's a bit empty, but it'd be nice if it could be filled in, but I'm okay with that. I also bought the TADUM here, the idea being that as he tries to push down here, and once I clear this area out with a bunch of Motostrelki that's coming in right now, I can push the Motostrelki up here, tank for that, have them tank screen for the TADUM, and the TADUM will pick up any fire support here, while my Sapri and VDV push up, and hopefully I can get some nice little side shots right here, because I have that nice 2800 meter range ATGM, or I can get into gun range. That's the idea behind it. The buy itself was maybe maybe a minute or two premature, considering it's just kind of waiting here, not doing anything, but okay. Now, I wanted to bring some more Gondor in here, but I forgot about this AMX-10 I mentioned at the start, which is really bad. Because I think had I instead taken the more conservative route of coming up through this road right here, and then swinging around, I'd have a triple stack of Gorno in here, which would be very hard for me to deal with. So instead I have to spend a lot more time smoking out the AMX-10 that's over here, so I can move the Gornos, which is what I'm doing right now. And it's going to give him time to maybe organize a counterattack or get back into town or something. So that was not a good play on my end. I didn't do a good enough job this game of actually defending this factory town. Now, with my last KP2 here, I do see he might be preparing a push, so I want to just hit this with an Uragan again. I know Feanor doesn't like to play against the Uragan, so if I can just constantly make sure that he's stun locked and can't do anything, and that his reservists will be too slow, that's good for me. So I'm going to triple split the salvo, a little bit here where his units are, and the last of it will be spent in Dick Forest, because my Motostrelki have arrived just in time, and I can hopefully push up here with an advantage as I swing my TADUM up, as I talked about earlier. So, we did the strikes, Here come the VDV Sapri. The Moto can get ready to move into position. And any push he's going to be doing here is going to be blunted. So that's good. I did buy recon here just to make sure that I don't get fully flanked. And now here comes my push. So here I get to bring my TADUM up, and let's see what it does. I only panicked the reserves and not the panic, which is unfortunate. So 73% miss. %78 miss. 74% miss. And finally on this shot I hit it. Now here comes this big push here, and his units have taken some morale damage, which is good. So I can get my tanks in this nice position, and my Gorners are here, popping the transports. And I want to either pick the reserves, make sure they can't do anything, or I want to pick his tanks. I don't want to try both. And this TADUM here is now doing a nice job of removing this Martyr 1 that he was about to transport, or Sapper deal with this position here, and mopping his 5 pointers here. So now I know everything left is over here. I'm a little bit worried at this point, so I have to buy a second Uragon, because this is a lot of units to deal with. Because these Gornos are dying. As you know, stuff is happening here as well. So the second Uragon is meant to mute this push here. And the BRDM3s and the MTV with the Rozvedkas is going to make sure that this stays open for me. So all I do is I wait. Strikes to happen. And just in time. I'm a bit injured though, so I want to pull back, but I did get something. And he's losing a lot of fire support here, but I do lose one tank. And I see his peace shrine, so I'm a bit worried. But I figure with my smoke screen I'll be okay. Especially after his missiles was kind of dirt. And I figured, well, let's go for the KWS. And it's not the greatest trade of all time, obviously. But I hit the KWS as well. So, could have gone worse. And my small little push over here worked quite nicely. And this TDM is going to get this nice pick here, which is important. I think if I stayed here long enough, the Invar would have hit. So that's miss micro on my end. And I get a nice Panther pick as well. So that's cool. Also, I'm about to deny his recon with my MTV. So it could have gone better. Definitely could have gone better. Because I did feed my one tank, but I think I'm playing okay right now. Now at this point, because I've kind of lost a decent amount of units here, and this Factoria that I was really worrying about, I'm going to play my UM from this angle, and prevent him from pushing out. While I ATGM micro here, pick his reservists, make sure he can't push anything else here with the Uragon. And the next salvo is going to come for this area right here. At this point, like, I'm a little stretched for points because I know there's 9 minutes left. I have been ticking +1, but I really need that +2 tick. So I need to have that CV coming in to protect me. I'm also not marking this area because I'm just very focused on here right now, but I should be marking this in a second. Now, I get my double stack of Sapri. I'm going to try to push this town. And I also know that these are a bit weak, so maybe I will need this to actually defend against a counterattack. I'm not entirely sure right now, because my VDV did take quite a beating. I'm going to try to swing my UM, though, because I just briefly spotted his 2A4 with my KA-52. So maybe I can clip him from reinforcing. Now, he makes a grave mistake of trying to engage Sapri with Legion 90, which will end in disaster for him, so I'm okay with that. I'm just waiting right now to pick his tanks, but unfortunately he has other ideas of trying to pick my tanks, so I'm going to pop back down just slightly. You can see here I'm blocking the line of sight, so that I know that if I need to pop real quickly, I can. And I know that he can't hit me with 80 gems at this angle. But the tiger here, this scares me a bit much. So now I get to take +2 on him. And I know that that's going to be just enough to be comfortable with. It's still very tight, though. It's a lot tighter than it should be, I think. Now I see this crow tile moving, so maybe he's trying to pick my K-52. So I have to move back a bit. And that was a nice pick as well. Really, though, I have to be moving these units back because they're too injured to hold this area. Here come my double stack of Sapri. I'm repairing everything, keeping all my units alive. And yeah, here's why I should have removed them back earlier, because while he does sacrifice his Martyr 2 here, the Panzer guys are still alive. So you can see me doing that now. And he knows my UM is here ready to get side shots, which is why I put the smoke screen here. However, he has his units just kind of chilling here in the open, which is good news to me, because I have 2 Urgons, and Urgons are pretty good units last time I checked. At this point in the game, I decided that I didn't want to invest more for Gregtown. I really wanted to go after his CV here, in this area here, because I figured that, well, if I could just push up like this, and he's spending so many points over here, chances are Anna's going to be pretty light. So I kind of changed my plan with that. Now, I forgot to micro this continually, and had I done that, I probably actually would have won this fight. But I'm going to just throw away 70 points in BRDM3s here, and not get the pickup, which I should have. So that was definitely a missed micro from me. And I just have to keep my units repaired right now, so that I'm not going to get pushed out. I am very worried, though, about him potentially coming in here and killing my CV, because I don't have this AT gem here. So the idea is I'm going to buy some VDV. It's going to kind of come up through the middle, and it can occupy Triangle Forest. Because I know that I can't take this road in, but I can take this road in, like that. Now I'm just, fully repairing, fully rearming, because this Tor did use a lot of missiles. Getting my TADM in position, because I think he's going to do another push on the town right now, as it's here. So I need to start rotating this just ever so slightly. I also see his Tigers here, so I want to waste some missiles on the 5-pointer. As I move the K-52 and the MTV over. And maybe I can get this Legion 90 pickup and scare the Tiger away. And I'm going to shoot the Panther. It's very dicey. I get the pick, though, so that's good. Now here comes this big tank fight. There's a mystery tank here, and he's doing a very good job of protecting his tanks right now. Now I have to pull back. But he knows he can't push forward, and I know that, well, if he's stun locked, he can't just push in general. So I just have to focus on stun locking him. Which is exactly what I do. The Sapper here have pushed up to make sure that he can't push back and he can't CV this area. Now, I did the classic TADU mistake of forgetting to actually refuel it. And that's going to lead to a funny moment in a second. But my my force for N has arrived. These Gru here have come. And the idea is that they're going to come around the side like this, because I don't think he can have any points here, considering how much he's been spending on this side over here. So I'm going to come around the side, flank into here, and remove the CV to get that plus. Because there's 4 minutes left, and the score is still pretty close. Now, I missed it, but he did get a tank pick right here, which is unfortunate. But I did stun lock him. Sorry, he didn't get the pick yet. I just had to retreat, because he dealt a decent amount of damage. And I'm so close. I really should have taken this truck for the TADM right now, but I instead take it for this forest right here. I mean, it's a very close game still. Here comes the K-52, and I buy the 25T right now, the idea being that I can really focus on punishing him for stepping out of smoke and slow him down, so I have time to tick on him. So the K-52 spots the 25T loiters, and hopefully he can't do much. Now, if my K-52 were on the other side right here in the open, that'd be much better, because I get more line of sight. But unfortunately, I don't have target, so I can't see anything. And yeah, I lose my tank here, and I just want to keep the CV in for as long as possible to really tick on him, which I'll realize in just a second. I am able to push up here, though, remove his Legion 90, and here comes a nice little flank. So, only taking +1, which is, you know, a big sad. Because I was really needing that +2 tick. So I know I have to really kill the CV and Anna so I can get my +2, and then maybe even CV Anna itself. So I'm really relying on these BTR 90s to do work here. The double sack is Sapri come to secure this location. And at this point I have to evac the 25-2 and 1 HP. But I pick a CV and I get to continue my +2 tick. And he messes up the roll in 3 micro here, which is good for me. But I'm not going to be able to get my strike plane out in time. I probably should have kept that 25T here, just loitering though. And right now I'm actually quite happy. Because I'm now in the conquest point lead. I still have my super heavy alive, but I'm not seeing how little fuel it has left. And I know that he's going to have a very hard time actually winning this game now. So I'm kind of chilling out at this point, which is perfectly okay. And my UM here can just make sure that he can't push. He does CV here, though. I saw Zafus Milan in this building, so now I know I have to strike here. That's what I must do. And this is pro super heavy micro, as you can see. Running out of fuel in the open. So I'm going to do the double Argon strike here. And now it's time for helos. So I really need to make sure that he can't actually do any really serious pushing against me. And I want to see if I can strike his kill his CV, which would be a great addition. Unfortunately, though, despite 2 Aragon salvage on location, I will not get the pick. And it turns out Super Heavy is good against 2A4s and shit like that. Getting this pick here. And he's shaken, and I have an autoloader. And my VP gets to be here just in time. Now, he doesn't get this pick here, but I know, well, he probably has no AA. So that's a good thing. And I own this town, and I can get my nice CV in here to really sell this game for me. Put it in the bag. So, I'm just going to only buy helos from now on, and get them around the side. And he tries to go for the peace shrine, but I see it just in time to get behind this town right here to block line of sight from those Panzer Grens. And even though I'm in the open, he can't have line of sight on me. And now it's time to go have fun with helos and hunt him down. And yeah, at this point, game's wrapped up. Turns out his CV's on 1 HP, which is annoying, but okay. And that's a wrap. And I was kind of shocked by the KD, because I knew I was doing well. But I didn't realize how well I was actually doing. Like, 800 points is a big deal, especially when we were trading this much. You can see this OBR had a very nice kill list. You know, a lot of fire sport like the AMX 13, some Legion 90, and the Milan F2s. Those were the 80 gems that he had in the Panther. Some reservists, and there's my 2A5 pickup that I got. That was probably the side shot on the forest I mentioned. Sorry, not the forest, on the road that I mentioned. And yeah, just a lot of fire sport here just to add up. This OBR 1989 also killed a decent amount. It got 2A5 as well, probably from trading. Some AMX 10s, a lot of reservists though. Because all I'm trying to do is trying to deprive him of his screens so that he'll eventually run out and be unable to push. K52, this was the one at the beginning, it killed the VAB, and just a lot of recon, so that was good. This was the Tiger at the start, the KWS and Panther, that was kind of nice. 27k, real hero of this game, getting double Leclerc's, Crotel, and Gepard A1. So it turns out he does run 4 super heavies in this deck, so it really is kind of that very old super heavy meta. And getting both those Leclerc at the start really, really helped. And then the AA as well, just to kind of tilt him. I mean, the kills will be a lot of reservists and a lot of 5-pointers, just because, that's what he was buying. 27M, 2 2A4s, rolling 3. I didn't really use it very well that game. I definitely could have used it better. Um, but I paid for itself. I mean, 260 plus 65s, 300, 25 points. It went positive. I'm okay with that. Aragon killing 2 Crotals. That's always funny to see. And this UM, it didn't really do much in terms of kills per se. Like aside from this 1 2 4, but that was just kind of silly micro on his end. It did a lot of scaring him though, which was the job it was supposed to do. And it really made him worry about getting side shot. And it helped me just kind of make sure that he couldn't fully push until the very end. So I'm okay with that. This Ergon killing stuff, PU was a big disappointment. I didn't use it well, and not killing the KWS with it was disappointing. I mean, the KWS is just such a stupidly powerful, overtuned plane. Like, it is ridiculous. This K52 did well, so that was good. 25T didn't really do all that much, but that was mainly due to my micro. With the K2 should have been on the other side, near more close to triangle forest rather than square forest, so I'd actually have more recon on him, and I wouldn't be blocked by smoke as much. Then I'm gonna have actually going to be able to make sure he can't fire his roll-ins with it, or at least make him think twice about it. And I'll have more recon on his units. This was a BTR 9 that got CV pickup, and I had a fun Telcop at the end. So yeah, that was the game. Um, I think it was a pretty good game from my end, at least. I think I really showed the strategies I talked about in my previous video for keeping the tanks behind the forest and near triangle to block line of sight and being a little bit careful. I think it was some good USSR gameplay as well. My only regrets are I kind of threw away my planes just to tilt him, which, may have done that, may have tilted him in the moment, but objectively speaking, in the long term, I probably could have kept him alive to do some more stuff. Um, because long-term tilt will be better than short-term tilt. So that was a mistake on my end. And I think I had a couple of bad buys here and there. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a perfectly fine, nice game, at least from my end. Anyway, that's all for now. See you in the next one. Take care.